Fellow Toastmasters, honorable guests, thank you for being here. As Sherry said, I'm doing project of level number 5 in Pathways. And as you know, each one of these projects in Pathways has been a whole new experience, a whole new challenge for me. Every time you move from one project to other, I would say that the challenge is even bigger. So this is the case with this project. When I was reviewing the project, there is this short video of a person inviting you as a professional speaker to say something that the audience can have in their minds for the rest of their lives.
Oh.
Imagine that. As a professional speaker saying something, you have to be aware or have to be available to say something that the audience can remember for the rest of their lives. I have a dream. Those kind of words. Or as not what the country can do for you.
Ask what you can do for yourself.
I have nothing to offer but blood,
Sweat, tears.
toil, tears, and sweat. Those kind of speeches. In order to do that, I asked myself, what is that experience that you have, that you're able to share? And not only that, it's about to share the experience, but also what you learn from that experience. To try to see if I'm able to say something that can last in your minds, at least until the end of the week. I got one of those experiences. And I want to share it. And I just want to share it with you. In August 2015, I was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer. It's the second hardest one, the second that killed the most people after the lung cancer. And being in that process and in that situation, you learn a lot. You learn a lot of things. I'm going to share with you today 5 of those things that I learned through that process of life. I survived the cancer. Just that's okay. I did it. I'm going to share 5 of those experiences. That day, the first day, when I met the doctor, and he said, "You got cancer." The first question that I asked him was, "Well, what are the odds?" And he said to me, "I'm going to be as clear and as honest as I can be. 20% chance after the treatment, you're going to be okay. 20% chances, there's nothing to do. And 60% that after a treatment, we will have to keep doing a treatment for a long period of time without knowing the result, what the result could be." And I told him, "Well, 80% chance of surviving, that's a good thing." And he told me, "I can see that you're an optimistic guy. That's a good thing." That's the first learning. This is me. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when I was in the process. I hope you do not have to learn this the hard way. First learning, optimism and good attitude make all the difference. I didn't know that I was going to accept this process with optimism. But this doctor, he showed me that I was an optimistic, and that optimism will be a good thing to have through the whole process. One story that happened to me is that when I was through the process of a chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and the surgery, every time that I went for the chemotherapy, the doctors look at me and say, did you really start the process? I say, yeah, sure, this is my 5th chemotherapy. I said, but why are you so happy? And they couldn't realize that I was going through the process and I was that advanced, not showing anything that was happening to me inside. So they would say, it is amazing what you're doing. Keeping that optimism, keeping that attitude is going to be a really important thing. And I don't know how big the optimism played in the success of the result of my process, but I know for certain that being optimistic, it was really important for the whole process. The second learning, family is the most important thing. We have a custom. We used to talk with the kids when they arrive from school at home. Every day we ask them, how was your day? And they say, whatever, was good, I got meeting with friends. The idea of that question is to have an open conversation with them. Because you know that the kids at some point, they get somehow isolated. They go home, they go directly to the rooms, start playing or whatever. So we decided to keep this conversation every day. So every day we ask them, how was your day? At some point, when they grew up, they start asking us back. So when we arrive from home with my wife and I, they say, hey, how was your day? And of course, we start to talking with them about the hard things that we have in our daily job. The day that I was diagnosed with the cancer, I arrived home and my son asked me, how was your day? Oh, everything is fine. And I felt immediately that hard thing of saying something that was not necessarily true. So optimism was not that good at that time. And the night was terrible for me because I didn't tell them the story. And I didn't know how to handle it. Next day, how was your day, Dad? Again, good, that's good. I couldn't resist that anymore. So I talked with my wife, and I told her, we need to tell what's going on to the kids. I think they need to know. And I asked a couple of friends that had cancer how they handled the situation. And some of them told me, yeah, go directly and tell them immediately what's happening. And other, they suggest me to do the other way around. Please don't tell the kids that. I mean, just keep it for yourself until you figure out what's going to happen. So I talked with my wife, and we decided to tell them. So of course, when we told them, they start crying. Of course, they didn't, and they start asking questions. What's going to happen? Are you going to be okay? And of course, I didn't have the answers to those questions. So I told them, we are all going to be through this process, and we will be learning all together. And so we did. At the end of the process, when I told them the great news that I didn't have cancer anymore, they were just, okay. We knew that it's going to be okay. And I think that was because the way we handled the whole process with them. I told them every little thing that happened. Hey, I got this thing. I'm going to have the chemotherapy. I'm going to have the surgery. Hey, but the surgery was okay. So going with them through the process, I think, made them more used to the situation. And at the end, because of the optimism, because of whatever information they have, they knew that the process was to be successful. I didn't know how much impact my cancer got in them until 3 months ago, when my son was coming here to study in Canada, one of the questions that he was asked as part of the evaluation was, what has been the most difficult situation for you? So that was a question that he was asked at the school. And he answered, the cancer of my dad. I didn't know. I didn't know. But it was hard for them too. Third, live a life with purpose. You know, being through these difficult things invite you to think and to rethink what are the important things in your life. One of them, of course, is family, and we already talked a lot about it. But the other important thing that I realized is time. We're used to think that we got all the time in our lives. In this process, I realized that we don't. We take time for granted. And we don't know. The truth is that we don't know. Anything can happen at any time. So, I decided to do with my time only those things that make me happy. To get the most out of my time. So I decided to invest my time in my friends, my family, the things that I like to do. Only those things. I was used to waste time because I thought I got a lot. But after that, I decided to do only those things that bring happiness to my life. That was one thing. The other thing is that I was more aware of the things that happen. I'm more grateful. When I woke up in the morning, I say, oh, a brand new day. How lucky I am of having one more day to live and to do the things that I love. Once you start thinking about gratitude and love, you understand that the best way to spend your life is having a life with purpose. So I started reading a lot about purpose. And at some point, I was talking with my daughter. We were listening a song of Justin Bieber. I said, this Justin Bieber guy is an idiot.
Yeah.
I told her. And my daughter told me, no, Dad. No. He used to be a fool, but he's not anymore. Let me show you this video. It was an interview that he was doing. And he said exactly that. I was an idiot before. I didn't know the impact that I have with the people, so I decided just to change my message, my song, my writing, everything. And now I'm writing and singing with purpose. And actually, that year, he got a record, and the name of the record is Purpose. All the lyrics changed once he realized the importance of having a purpose in life. So that was nice. And it was my daughter teaching me about having purpose in our lives. So I started to read about purpose. And I found this beautiful concept. Ikigai. It's a Japanese word. Being and living with purpose. It's a super interesting concept. It's a super interesting concept. I want to share it with you. What I did is that I answered each one of these 4 questions. What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. I answered them all and graded down the answers, trying to find what things were common between those answers, to find and define maybe a passion that I have. So if you have something that you love and something that you're good at, maybe that's a passion. And if you have something that you love and something that the world needs, maybe that's your mission. If you have something that you're good at and something that you can be paid for, that may be your profession. If you have something that the world needs and that you can be paid for, that's your vocation. And if you have something that is common to all those things, then maybe you have your ikigai, your purpose. I found it. And it's super nice. It's a whole new thing. Being aware that you're living and doing the things that are in the same path, or in the path to allow you to accomplish your purpose. In my case, I can share it with you, it's all about helping and inspiring others to be better and to be happier. That's simple. That's my purpose. I hope you can do this exercise to somehow try to figure out yours if you haven't, or just to just do it again to see if it is the right track. I keep doing this exercise, I don't know, maybe every 6 months, just to be sure that my purpose is in the right track. For learning, we are more powerful than we think. We are more powerful than we think. This story is not about me, it's about my wife. When I was having the chemotherapies, I got 2 options. This chemotherapy is a pump thing. It is connected to your body somehow. And it lasts, those chemical things last for 3 years. So you're connected intravein, and the system is pumping during 3 days. The bad thing about that is that you're all the day, I was kind of dizzy and sleepy, because at night, having that thing with you is super hard to sleep. So the other day I was sleepy and dizzy, not that good. That was one thing. But the other thing is that I want to go to work. During this whole process, I keep working every single day. So I asked my wife that we have to do something, because the first time that I did, the next day was super hard, because I was sleepy, because I was not feeling that well. So we asked the doctors, what can we do so I can go to work? And they said, there is one thing that you can do. You can get connected, that's what they call it. You can get connected Friday. So you have this process going on the whole weekend, which is going to be easier for you to handle. And then the thing is that you have to unplug the whole system. And we can do a training session for you and your wife, so you learn how to do that, and maybe that's done. My wife said, no way. No way. I got panic to the needles, and I'm not gonna be able to do that. So I asked her, just go for the meeting. Go for the training and see what happens. So we went through the process. He was practicing, and he accepted to do it. That was a really challenging situation for her. And I got this picture. That's my wife, with all the things, dressed properly for the situation, with the pump. The first day that he took it off, you can see that she's happy behind the mask. She did it. So she figured out that she was able to do it. We all are able to do those hard things when we have to. We are more powerful than we think. The first one, the 5th one, the burden is relief with a spiritual strength. I believe in God, and I hope you all have some connection with the divinity, with the spiritual strength. We as a family went to pray every weekend, and I pray every day, saying to God something like, you know, my friend, whatever happens, I accept it. And that was a great thing, being able to accept it, the result of the thing. And I think that maybe part of what happened to me is that I was in a presentation of the Dalai Lama a long, long time ago. And the guy said, if you don't want to suffer, if you don't want the pain, accept the things. I didn't understand the first time when I heard that. What is he talking about? Acceptance to get rid of pain. I didn't understand until I was in this situation. And I said, oh, I got it now. Instead of fighting with the whole process, accept it. And from then, you can move on. The importance of accepting the things that they are. Only when you accept the things, you're able to change them. I learned that from him. So being able to have that companion, the presence of God, was absolutely important in my process. These are the 5 learnings that I want to share with you. I know that we all have difficult situations, difficult moments in our lives. I hope that within this presentation, you can remember one of those 5. Family, the optimism, to have a life with purpose, that we are more powerful than we think, and have some spiritual strength in us. I have a dream. I have a dream that you can remember one of these things for at least 1 week, so you don't have to learn it the hard way. Hello, Toastmasters.